Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Happy Shri Ram Naumi to you. So thank you very much for being here this evening. And we had a nice program during the day, and we're going to have a nice fitting end to the program with Swarup, His Grace Swarup Damodar Prabhu, who will be addressing us. As you know, Swarup Prabhu has been here with us for many, many years, and now he is based in India, where he is personally serving His Holiness Giriraj Swami Maharaj. And Swarup Prabhu travels, so he comes now and then, goes back to India. So we're very glad that he's here. He'll be here for Rath Yatra as well. So thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Turn this volume up a bit.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Testing sound. Is that okay? You can hear me at the back? Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Rama Raghava, Rama Raghava, Rama Raghava, Rakshamam. Thank you all for coming this evening on the unfortunate closing of our many multi-day Ram Naumi festival that we've been experiencing. Wonderful darshans of the deities, wonderful kirtans by the devotees offered with love to Sita, Ram, Lakshman, Hanuman, and a series of just the most wonderful classes over the last many days. Somehow I had the energy to attend almost all of the wonderful classes that were held here at Radharadhana Temple for the Ramayana week. And today, on our Ram Naumi festival, we were treated, really treated with two really wonderful classes. First in the morning by His Grace Jagadananda Pandit Prabhu, who so eloquently and expertly guided us into appreciating a very deeper understanding of a very difficult to understand pastime in Valmiki Ramayana, and that is the banishment of Mother Sita towards the end of the Ramayana. Very difficult. So if you've had any concerns about that, I'm sure we've all had concerns. That's one of our top priority concerns when reading the Ramayana, and we've harbored lots of doubts. I suggest you go to our ISKCON Durban Facebook page and access that class from this morning. Really brilliantly presented class. And then at midday, His Holiness Bhakti Chaitanya Maharaj so wonderfully guided us in appreciating Lord Ram from some very wonderful, amazing perspectives. And he shared with us a very amazing realization by the Acharyas that at least I've never heard it before. I've never heard this before. And Maharaj mentioned that in order to kill Ravana, Lord Ram shot Ravana in his chest, right in the region of the heart, and shattered his heart, and thereby only was Ravana able to be felled or killed. He just completely collapsed. But Maharaj said that before that, for a number of days before that, Lord Ram and Ravana were fighting, and Lord Ram was meticulous in his aim, and he was shooting down so many of Ravana's heads, just one after the other. And each time he shot a head off, what had happened? the head grew back again. And why isn't it that in the first place he didn't shoot at Ravana's heart? Like, why didn't he do it in the very first place? Why was he, quote unquote, wasting his time shooting all of Ravana's heads? And Maharaj gave the answer that Ravana had become so intensely attached to Sita Devi. From a materialistic perspective, he wanted to enjoy her. So intensely attached that he gave the understanding that when someone's so attached, when you are attached to someone, then that someone takes their residence in your heart. Right? So in that sense, Sita Devi was in Ravana's heart because of his attachment, deep attachment. So for that purpose, Lord Ram did not want to shoot an arrow into Ravana's heart. So after being decimated, the army is being decimated, the Rakshasa army being completely destroyed, and Ravana was like completely overwhelmed by Lord Ram's power. Being so overwhelmed, at a certain point, momentarily, he became so frustrated that he forgot about his attachment to Sita. So in that moment that Sita was no longer present in his heart, Lord Ram knew, and at that point he invested his special arrow with the Brahmastra potency and destroyed Ravana. So you see how important it is to attend class? You get all these amazing gems. Coming for prasadam is also very, very important. Very important. But going for prasadam afterwards is like going for the dessert. The main meal of the festival is the kirtan and the katha. So anyway, y'all are not the persons I should be telling this to, of course. But anyway, we are here, unfortunately, to close out, and I hope what I share with you this evening will also assist you in your path of devotional service in surrender to Sita Ram, Lakshman and Hanuman, Shri Shri Radha Radhanath and Lord Chaitanya. So this evening we will recite a verse from the 24th chapter of the 9th canto of the Srimad Bhagavatam. We will recite the 61st verse. I'll just recite it and say the translation, and then we'll discuss it further. Kalo janishyamananam dukkha shoka tamonudam anugrahaya bhaktanam supunyam vyatanot yashaha. Translation. To show causeless mercy to the devotees who would take birth in the future in this age of Kali. Who's this for? Who's getting the mercy? Who are these people that this Bhagavatam is referring to? To who? To us. To the persons who take birth in the future in this age of Kali. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna or Rama, acted in such a way that simply by remembering him, one will be freed from all the lamentation and unhappiness of material existence. And if you have a need to be freed from any unhappiness and lamentation, anybody has? Well, are such happy okay, there's more people here. We all want to be freed from certain unhappinesses in our life, lamentations. This is what material existence is all about. Being unhappy and lamenting. Unhappy and lamenting. So this is the purpose of the Lord's descent in any of his forms, especially in his form as Krishna. And today we were commemorating the appearance of Lord Ramachandra. Also his pastimes, simply by chanting about the pastimes, hearing about the pastimes, reflecting on them, hearing them, will dissipate all lamentation, all unhappiness in our hearts. So this is the very important aspect of why Ram Katha, Krishna Katha is so essential in our lives. This is an essential part of the process of devotional service, the process of bhakti that has been given to us, handed down in our parampara, down through the ages by the acharyas, and so expertly consolidated and distilled in what we have by the mercy of His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada taught us, following Rupa Goswami, that the essence of devotional service the very foundational essence of devotional service is to cultivate the desire. It's all based on desire, to serve the Lord in an unalloyed fashion. Unalloyed means there is no tinge or mixture of any other desire. We learn this as the definition of Bhakti Yoga, Anya Bilashita Shunyam, that all other desires must be reduced to Shunyam, to zero, to null. That when we are engaged in devotional service, as one of our previous devotees, Balabhadra Prabhu, who used to visit here, he used to say, please serve God for God's sake and no other's sake. Yeah? Very apt understanding of pure devotional service. So, to serve Krishna, to serve Lord Ram in an unalloyed fashion. And the opposite of this is to cultivate the desire to exploit the Lord or the Lord's energy. And this is exemplified by who in this Ram Leela? Is Ravana. Ravana had this tendency that he thought he was the supreme, and everything in his purview was meant for his pleasure and enjoyment. And if you think about it really transparently in ourselves, we all have a certain Ravan-like tendency. We look at the world around us, oh, that will be nice for me. I wish I had this. I could use a better this, a better that. Disconnected from how it can be used in the service of Krishna. So Sita Devi, who is the original goddess of fortune, Lakshmi, she is the supreme internal energy of Krishna, of Lord Ram. And she, that energy, is really only meant to be engaged in the service of Narayan, or Lord Ramachandra. There is no other purpose for her as the energy of the Lord. So as devotees, we worship Krishna, we worship Lord Ram, and we worship him together with his energy. This is our process. Whereas we find when we study the Ramayana or the Srimad Bhagavatam's accounts of Lord Ram's Leela, we find that Ravana's focus was to do away with Lord Ramachandra, not have anything to do with him, but simply focus on the energy of Lord Ram, and that is Sita Devi. And if we also similarly cultivate a mood like like Ravana, then we will also, in some way, experience the same fate as Ravana. That by this tendency to enjoy separately from Krishna, separately from Lord Ram, we will also be destroyed. The Bhagavatam describes in some of the verses that His Holiness Bhakti Chaitanya Maharaj read today, that Ravana fell down like a pious person who has exhausted all their credits. It doesn't happen gradually, it's like smash on the ground before you know it. So that's what can happen to us, that in the course of our practice of devotional service, if somehow we, through inattention, we open a door to let a desire in, to enjoy separately from Krishna, and if we do not arm ourselves or defend ourselves with the association of devotees who have the confidence to tell us, hey, Swarup Damodar, watch out, don't continue on this path. If we don't cultivate that defense mechanism for ourselves, then we will fall down. I'm sure all of you, to some extent or the other, have been a bit concerned about the war in the Middle East. You know, America, Israel, Iran, and all the bombs going off. And Israel is a very small country there, surrounded by all these nations that are very inimical to to Israel. But they created an amazing defense mechanism, I don't know what it's, some amazing name they got for it, huh? The Iron Dome, yes. They created, it's not literally an iron dome that covers the whole of Israel, but it's a powerful defense mechanism that whenever a missile is coming, they immediately detect it, and they have anti-missile anti-whatever missiles to go and defend it or destroy all the attacking missiles. So we need to have the same. We need to create our own iron dome by our own focused sadhana and devotional service, and especially by cultivating a very strong circle of devotee friends, devotee guides, that you entrust with the confidence. It's not enough just to say, I've got a lot of friends. If I go around, how many friends do you have? I've got about 2,332. Right? How many of you have got more than 2,000 friends? Come up. Smita Krishna Prabhu's got probably like 5,000 friends on Facebook. We've all say we are so friendly on Facebook. No. We need to empower our friends to call us out when we are stepping out of line. And so this tendency that's always knocking on our door to enjoy separately from Krishna, to enjoy separately from Lord Ram, is always there with us. It's a great danger. And in the Ramayana we can learn how to identify this nature in ourselves, how to protect ourselves from this nature, this tendency. And we can look to the great personalities in the Bhagavatam and in the Ramayana and get inspiration from them on how to do that. Especially, of course, the Lord's greatest of servants, Hanumanji. He can teach us how to do this. We find when we study Hanuman's life and activities, he is just completely focused. He doesn't think of anything else other than the service of Lord Ram and how to please him, how to assist him, how to make things better for him. As I'm speaking, I'm just thinking of, I don't know why I thought of it, but there's one little story we often tell at wedding ceremonies. You know the story about Hanuman and the sindoor powder? You ever wondered when you're in Vrindavan, you walk around and you see these red or brightly orange covered deities of Hanuman? But Hanuman wasn't orange or red. He was normal furry colored, you know. Why is he so orange or red? Because one day he saw Mother Sita putting sindoor on her parting of her hair. And he's saying, Mata, why are you doing that? What's the purpose of that? And she explained to him, by doing this act will give my Lord Ramachandra great prosperity, good health, and long life. And within a moment, Hanuman disappeared. And then a moment later, he came back completely covered in sindoor. Said, if you are just putting a small piece on your forehead to give him all this, can you imagine if we cover our whole body? How this will help Lord Ram? So this is Hanuman's nature. His dedication to serve Lord Ramachandra. We read about it in his search for Sita, how he undertook such great endeavor. He didn't even know his capacity. This is the nature of a devotee also. They see the goal. They may not even think, I can't do this. And we see this in our own spiritual lives and devotee friends. Some devotees, we realize, hey, I know this person. And suddenly they engaged in this service and that service. This is amazing. It's so powerful. I would have never thought that this devotee would have done that or done this. It's so amazing. But because we are determined and we have this focus to serve Krishna in an unalloyed spirit, then the empowerment of Krishna comes. The empowerment of Lord Ram will come upon us. Same with Hanuman. He had no idea about his immense potency. He had no idea. He was actually purposely covered. The demigods got together and realized, we have to put a lid on this personality's power. It's too powerful. So they not cursed him, but they sort of blessed him with forgetfulness of his own power. And when everybody was completely distressed at whether we can actually save Sita or find Sita, Jambavan encouraged Hanuman that, Hanuman, why are you keeping quiet? You can easily cross this 800-mile ocean. It's nothing for you. And as soon as he was encouraged by a superior personality, Hanuman realized, this is nothing. I can do it. I can do 10 times this distance. No problem. So he he endeavored with great determination, and he was very much blessed by Lord Ramachandra. So the difference between Hanuman and the Ravan-like mentality, the materialistic mentality, is that the materialistic mentality is determined. They go through great lengths to try and separate the energy of Krishna from Krishna, simply to exploit the energy of Krishna for their sense gratification. Whereas Hanuman, he is endeavoring with great determination, great effort, simply to unite the energy of Krishna with Krishna, to unite Sita with Lord Ram. This is his focus. So we find Ravana, he went through so much of endeavor, right? He created a whole mystical smoke screen simply to separate Sita from Ram. And then he kidnapped, or so-called kidnapped, Sita Devi. So we find, why so-called, I'll explain now. We find that the materialists do the same thing. The materialistic tendency is to put a lot of effort. From the time we are born, of course, our parents and society does it for us. They enroll us into school. Even nowadays, school is starting at, 3 years old now? Simply to equip and upskill our children to become expert, with all respect, I'm sorry, but with all respect to parents, but this is the reality of our existence today. Simply to upskill our children to such a level that they can become very expert at exploiting the material energy. Am I right or am I right? There's no other option. It is true. It's really true. If you look at the basic foundational desire of parents, if they are not strong devotees, is to equip the children to handle material life, to extract the most out of material life. This is what it really is about. This is why Prabhupada said material education is like slaughterhouse. Oops. I'm just the messenger, but also don't kill Prabhupada now, right? This is what it's all about. So Ravana, he went through such endeavor, to try and separate Sita from Ram, to enjoy Sita for himself, and he was destroyed. Similarly, we also do so much of endeavor, education, upskilling, getting encouragement gurus in our study field or in our work field, simply to do better and better and better, to extract some enjoyment from the material energy. But the result is Ravana was destroyed completely, and Hanuman was rewarded completely. This is the difference. This is the difference in it. We also find in the case of Hanuman, in terms of the qualification to serve Lord Ram, the qualification to serve the energy of Lord Ram, Sita Devi, we find in the example of Hanuman so many other wonderful qualities that he had. We find in him the example which personally I've been reflecting on over a number of months now. Maybe I'll give you an insight of some of my mental condition. Is that Hanuman is clearly displaying the fact of devotional service that material qualification and material position has no standing in the successful execution of devotional service. Has no standing, has no importance whatsoever. Position and qualification, material qualification. Even in a spiritual realm, sometimes in the institution of ISKCON, we get certain roles to play, right? And I know I've been through so many roles. I was a new bhakta. How many of you have been new bhaktas in the temple? Smita and I. Well, he was a senior new bhakta when I joined Krishna Consciousness. Learned so much from Smita Krishna Prabhu's training in our small preaching center in Phoenix. So we were new bhaktas. It's a position. A new bhakta in the 90s when we joined was seen to be like a guru, right? You all remember congregational devotees? They were like worshipped. It was so amazing. Yeah, seriously. I mean, right? We were like, it was so uncomfortable for us. Every day getting 2 prasadam invitations. It was really something, you know. It was quite something. So new bhakta was a position, and some of us grew very attached to the position. Then we got initiated, became brahmacharis, became, you know, department heads, head pujaris, temple president, regional, whatever. There's so many positions. But that has no bearing on whether you are pleasing Krishna or not. Unless the position is facilitating one to actually serve Krishna with one's heart, to serve the devotees with a pure heart. And that is the nature of Hanuman. Hanuman was the closest to Lord Ram. Lord Ram declared him to be his own brother. Where did we hear that today? In the morning class or midday class? Morning class, yeah? Lord Ram gave him the benediction when he found Sita Devi. I take you as good as my own brother, he told Hanuman. But who was Hanuman, really speaking, materially speaking? Just a monkey. I mean, not just any monkey, but literally a monkey. Now, how can material qualifications or positions then have any bearing on how close one can come to Lord Ramachandra? Nothing whatsoever. So we must be conscious of this, that even in spiritual life, we must not become too enamored by the upward mobility in the corporate ladder of a spiritual institution. One must be careful of that. Like me, became a temple president very young, and suddenly you see devotees, wow, Prabhu, so advanced, so wonderful, so this. And internally I realized, no, that's not me. But there was a part of me that lapped it up and enjoyed it, honestly speaking. And some devotees helped me with it, like my spiritual master really helped me with it to get off that false platform. But all of us, we may be, what is it? A pauper proud of his penny, so to speak. Whether you have one penny or many pennies, it's still pennies, right? It's still pennies. So we must not become proud of any position that we achieve. Because as Prabhupada tells that story, what's that? Punar Musika Bhava. Very soon, you can again become a mouse. Very soon. But what Krishna is looking for is, no matter what role we have, whether it is the new bhakta in the temple, cleaning the toilets, or washing the plates in Govindas. That was my first service in the temple when I came here. It was some big public function, and there was like literally hundreds of plates. And I thought, I've got an engineering degree. What am I doing here washing plates for 4 hours non-stop? But Krishna wants to see that despite all your degrees and accolades and positions, you are still ecstatic to go down to the Govinda's restaurant and wash the pots. This is what he wants to see. This is the mood of Hanumanji. That no matter what was asked of Hanuman, he was ready to execute it wholeheartedly. This is the position that we need to come to. In this regard, I want to read 2 verses spoken by Hanuman in the 5th canto, which I also spoke yesterday, but I was thinking about it so much in the last day that I thought it's just a wonderful thing to repeat again and again and again. And again, it's showing how no material qualification, position whatsoever is required to be connected to Lord Ramachandra. So this is the 5th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, the 19th chapter, verses 7 and 8. I'll just read the translation of each one. So Hanumanji is speaking. He says, one cannot establish a friendship with the Supreme Lord Ramachandra on the basis of material qualities, such as one's birth in an aristocratic family, one's personal beauty, one's eloquence, one's sharp intelligence, or one's superior race or nation. Isn't that powerful? Nothing can influence your ability or inability to develop friendship with the Supreme Lord. None of these qualifications is actually a prerequisite for friendship with Lord Sri Ramachandra. And now, he is his own evidence, right? He says, otherwise, how is it possible that although we uncivilized inhabitants of the forest have not taken noble births, although we have no physical beauty, and although we cannot speak like gentlemen, Lord Ramachandra has nevertheless accepted us as friends. Hmm? And then he says, the next verse, therefore, whether one is a demigod or a demon, a man or a creature other than a man, such as a beast or bird, everyone should worship Lord Ramachandra, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who appears on this earth just like a human being. There is no need for great austerities or penances to worship the Lord, for he accepts even a small service offered by his devotee. Thus he is satisfied, and as soon as he is satisfied, the devotee is successful. Prabhupada once, I can't remember whether he wrote to her or told her, Shilavati Devi Dasi, one of the first pujaris in our movement, that Prabhupada trained the rest of ISKCON through her and Mother Jamuna Devi. And he once wrote her that if you, through your deity service, can get Krishna to smile once, your life is perfected. That's all we want, right? Is for Krishna to smile. Indeed, Lord Sri Ramachandra brought all the devotees of Ayodhya back home, back to Godhead. So this is Hanuman. No material position or qualifications are a prerequisite. And if one just simply focuses on worshipping the Lord, not worrying about austerities and penances, just something simple, but giving our hearts to it, the Lord will be satisfied, and His satisfaction is our ultimate perfection, our ultimate success. Yesterday afternoon, I gave the midday class. We had a 2-day Ram Naumi festival because there was some overlap of the dates, whether yesterday is Ram Naumi or today is Ram Naumi. But who cares? 2 days celebration is always better than. It's like a warm-up for next week. 2-day, then next week is 4-day. So that's what we're doing, right? But yesterday I gave a class, and in that class I erroneously spoke about Valmiki Muni and his previous, not his previous life, but his previous occupation in that life. And I mentioned that he was a hunter, mercilessly killing animals as an occupation. But I thought about it more later on, and I realized, no, that was wrong. He wasn't a hunter. Yeah, he was actually a dacoit, a thief. So I thought, I was praying to Valmiki to please forgive me from this misrepresentation. So I thought, I researched a little more, and I thought to set the record straight about him. And as I learned more about Valmiki Muni, some bits I knew before, but some things were so amazingly revelatory that it really touched my heart, and I learned many, many wonderful lessons from his own life story. So I wanted to quickly share in the few minutes that we have something about Valmiki Muni. Valmiki Muni, in his earlier occupation in that life, he was known by the name Ratnakara. Ratnakara. And he was from a hill station tribe, and to supplement their life, Ratnakara, later Valmiki, Ratnakara had an occupation of a dacoit, a thief. Like he was one of the original hijackers, so to speak, right? Original hijackers. And he would accost tourists passing through that area and steal, sometimes violently even, really violently, steal all their wealth. This was Ratnakara. He was doing this, and that's how they were living. And he would be sustaining his family with all the wealth that they stole from anyone traveling through that area. And it's described that once, in a clearing in the forest, he noticed a group of sages walking through, unprotected, and he thought, oh, this is easy picking. Easy. I'll just grab them, take whatever they have, and chalega, no problem. So he jumped on them with great surprise to them, and they got a little shocked. And he says, right, give me everything that you have, or I will, beat you all up. I don't know what words he said in Sanskrit at that time. And they were not perturbed. They were so cool about it, like unfazed. And Narada Muni was the leader of those group of sages. And he representing the sages, Narada Muni said, "Oh, why are you doing this? We are here, peaceful people walking through the forest, and you want to cause us harm? Why do you want to do that?" Saying, "No, no, no, this is what I want. You better give it immediately, otherwise I will kill you." Threatening to kill. And Narada Muni said very peacefully, "Okay, but first, you please answer some questions of ours." I imagine next time you're getting hijacked at the traffic lights, remember this past time, how to deal with the hijackers, right? Please answer a question first. And the questions were very profound. On the surface it seemed normal, but very deep. The first question Narada Muni asked Ratnakar was, "Are you prepared for the sinful reactions that you will accrue due to this sinful act of robbing unarmed, unprotected people? And secondly, you say you are doing this for your family. Are they prepared to also share in your sinful reactions because of what you are doing for their sake?" And Ratnakar stepped back and he thought, wow, I never really thought about it that way. I'm sure they are prepared to share this because I'm doing it for their sake, right? Naturally. But he said, okay, just hold that thought, wait here, I'll come back. So he goes to his family and he tells them, you know what, I had this really interesting encounter with these sages. I've never happened before. And this is what they asked me. And at first I was very confident in the answer, but I thought, let me ask you all. So, my dear wife and children, I'm doing all this intense activity, this dacoitory work for you, for your benefit. Will you accept a share of the sinful reactions that I am accruing? And what do you think they said? No, no way, we are not going to. And the penny dropped for him at that point. He got so confused. Well, what am I doing this for? So he went back immediately to the sages, to Narada Muni, and expressed that, I'm confused now. What is the purpose of everything? I'm so disappointed that I've been doing all of this for their sake, for someone else's sake, committing so many sinful activities. And what's going to happen to me? So the sages took pity on him. And they said, yes, we understand, but don't worry. You can be relieved of all these sinful activities, all these sinful reactions that you have accrued, simply by doing one activity, and that is to chant the holy name of Ram, Ram, Ram. Just continuously chant Ram, and you'll be relieved. So they told him, you try chanting Ram, Ram, Ram. And Ratnakar started. He tried his best, but he couldn't utter the name of Ram. It just wouldn't vibrate off his tongue. And he said, I'm trying. I think because I'm so sinful, I'm not being allowed to chant the Lord's name. Then they said, okay, we understand. Because you are so covered by all your past sinful activities, I suggest that you chant something that you are very used to. You chant the name or the word for death. And the word for death in Sanskrit is Mara. Mara. So you just chant Mara, 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 Mara. And what is it basically? Rama, 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 Rama. So he started chanting the name of death. And he became focused. He became so deep in the meditation to chant the name of death, Mara, which was actually the name of Lord Ram, that he became completely unaware of everything around him by the blessings of the sages, of his guru Narada Muni. And then the sages quietly left. And Ratnakar was simply just continuously chanting for thousands of years. This is Treta Yuga we're talking about, chanting for thousands of years. And then the sages came back, and in that time, what had happened to Ratnakar? A huge anthill had grown over him. Grown over him. And then the sages went close to the anthill, and they put their ears to the anthill, and what did they hear? What did they hear? Rama, Rama, Rama. He was still chanting. And then Narada Muni very loudly and compassionately announced, please come out of the anthill. Please come out of the anthill. And then Ratnakar came out of the anthill. And that's when he got the name Valmiki, which literally means one who comes out of an anthill. So that's the name. That's the meaning of the name, Valmiki, one who comes out of an anthill. So we find in the Ramayana this name of Ram, the chanting of the holy names, as in every scripture. The Srimad Bhagavatam starts with it practically in the very first chapter, Apana Samsmritim Ghoram, and it ends with it. The very last verse speaks about the sanctity, the glory of chanting the holy name. And every scripture in Christianity, in Islam, in Buddhism, they all speak. Well, I'm not sure about Buddhism. I should be careful of saying that. I'm not sure. Maybe, maybe not. But at least all the major world religions glorify the chanting of the Lord's holy names. Apana Samsmritim Gauram, that by chanting this holy name, you will be protected even from fear personified, because fear personified is scared of the holy name. Right? So it's so much a focus on chanting the holy names. We find even in the Ramayana, later on in the Ramayana, Lord Ram and his monkey army, they are building a bridge across from Rameshwaram to Lanka. Big bridge, 800 miles, and I can't remember, like many miles wide. Huge, huge bridge. And they were getting all these boulders and mountain peaks. And how were they getting it to float? Before they put it into the water, what were they doing? Ram. They were chanting Ram's name. And by the potency of Ram's name, the boulders were floating. This is the power of chanting Ram's name. So powerful. It's described in Rupa Goswami's Namasakam, Vachyan Vachakam iti udeti, that the Lord has two forms. He has his personal physical form, and he has the form of the holy name. And on a certain level, they are both equal. But we know, Rupa Goswami is praying, we know that the name of the Lord is more merciful. In other words, more powerful than the Lord himself. Because one may commit offenses to the Lord in his form, but by worshipping the name of the Lord, one can become freed from the offenses to the Lord. This is how potent the mercy of the name is compared to the form of the Lord. In one of the Puranas, there's a small little story about the building of the bridge to Lanka. It's described that, yes, the stones were being upheld by the name of Ram. They weren't sinking. And once even Lord Ram tried to go and help. And he was putting boulders in, stones in. But as soon as he was putting the boulders and stones in, what was happening to the boulders? They were sinking immediately. And the monkey says, no, 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 you have to chant the name. They're telling the Lord, you have to chant the name. So who is more powerful? The Lord or the holy name of the Lord? Hallowed be thy name, isn't it? We used to pray in school. The name is powerful. So this is our goal. This is our goal. Like I started off, the devotee, the devotional sentiment, the Hanumanji-like sentiment, is to connect the energy of Krishna with Krishna, to connect the energy of Ram, Sita Devi with Lord Ramachandra. And Hanuman and the millions of Vanara soldiers, they were building this bridge. And this bridge was kept afloat, was built by the potency of Lord Ram's name. Simply to connect Ram with Sita. And this is what we have to do. If there's one thing we must take away from Ram Naumi, there's so many things, but this would be like my takeaway for this class, is that the only process in this age of Kali to connect us to the lotus feet of Krishna is the chanting of the holy name. There is no other way, no other way, no other way, as the verse says. Harer Nama, Harer Nama, Harer Nama Eva Kala. Eva, God, Harer Nama Eva Kevalam, Kalo Naste Eva Naste Eva Naste Gatir Anyata. There's no other way. So today we should dedicate ourselves to the chanting of Lord Ram's name, Lord Krishna's name. And in this age of Kali, the recommended names are in the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. So you see, simply dedicate ourselves to chanting the Hare Krishna mantra. We will be building our bridge from our hearts, offering what's in our hearts, and taking it to Sita Devi, who will then bless us. Who will then bless us to be reunited in service to Lord Ramachandra and Lord Krishna. So thank you very much. Hare Krishna, Hare Rama. Shri Ram Naumi Maha Mahotsava ki, Shri Shri Sita Ram Lakshman Hanuman ji ki, Shri Shri Radha Radhanath Shriman Mahaprabhu ki, Shri Giriraj Govardhan Lal ki, Srila Prabhupada ki, Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bol. So we can rise and observe the Sandhya Arati and thereafter go down for Krishna Prasadam, Ram Prasadam. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you very much. Swarup Damodar Prabhu ki jai. Everybody can please help with the chairs. Thank you. Some of you are helping already. Thank you so much.
We build the temple, Prabhu. Huh? No problem. Thank you.
Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swami Nityanamine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharite Niveshesha Shunyavadi Pasyachane Shatarine Kiba Jaya Jaya Gaurachandi Arati Goshoba Chahana Vitadavani Jagamadanoba Takini Tachar Navigadana Nikati Advaita Sini Pasata Dadana Nara Hari Hari Bosi Achi Gora Cha Satna Shiva Sare Arati Kore Na Brahma Haji Deva Kare Nara Hari Hari Kore Shamara Duraya Sanjaya Mukunda Basho Koshani Gaya Sangha Baji Ganta Baji Baji Ganta Padu Namadanga Baji Paramarasana Sankabaji Kantabaji Padu 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 Badi Sangabaji Kantabaji Badu 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 Badi Bahu Kuti Chandrajiri Padana Uchwara Kala Disi Pana Pana Kore Chana Pana Siva Sukhanarada Pime Gada Gada Pakati Vinodya Dege Kodara Sampana Korange Arati Koshoba Jagadjana Bandaloba Korange Arati Koshoba Jagadjana Bandaloba Korange Arati Koshoba Jagadjana Bandaloba Ita Gora Haribo, 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 Haribo. Ita Gora Haribo, 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 Haribo. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Tarasata Sri Srimad A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada ki. ISKCON Samstapakacharya Srila Prabhupada ki. Jayam Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parivrajikacharya Astotarasata Sri Srimad Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada ki. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki. Namacharya Haridas Thakur ki. Prem se kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shrivas Adi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda ki. Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopinath Shamakun Radha Kund Giri Govardhana ki. Shri Vrindavan Dhama ki. Mayapur Navadvip Dhama ki. Ganga Mai ki. Yamuna Mai ki. Bhakti Devi ki. Tulsi Maharani ki. Samaveta Bhakta Vrinda ki. Shri Ram Naumi Mahamahotsava ki. Shri Shri Sitaram Lakshman Hanuman ki. Shri Jagannath Snan Yatra Mahotsava ki. Shri Jagannath Ratha Yatra Maha Mahotsava ki. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. Gaur Premanande.
Hare Krishna. So before Krishnastami Prabhu sings Nishingadev prayers, a reminder that tomorrow at New Jagannath Puri Temple will be the Snan Yatra, which is on Sunday, will be the Snan Yatra program. Please, everybody can attend that. It starts at 9 o'clock. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
हरे कृष्ण। श्री श्री नृसिंहदेव भगवान की, श्री श्री नृसिंहदेव भगवान की। Can't hear you. श्री श्री लक्ष्मी नृसिंहदेव भगवान की। नमस्ते नरसिंहाया, बोलो। प्रहलाद लाद दायिने, हिरण्यकशिपूर्वक्षः, श्रीलातं कानकालाये, हितो नृसिंहो परतो नृसिंहो, यतो यतो यमिततो नृसिंहो, बाहे नृसिंहो ये डरे नृसिंहो, नाराश्रिंभामादिं शरणं प्रपदे, तव करकमलवरे न कामद्भूता श्रृंगा, दालिता हिरण्यकशिपूर्तनो भृंगा, केशवधृता नरहरे रूपा, जय जगदीश हरे, जय जगदीश हरे, जय जगदीश हरे। तव करकमलवरे नका अद्भुत श्रृंगार, दालिता हिरण्यकशिपूर्तनो भृंगा, केशवधृता नरहरे रूपा, जय जगदीश हरे। जय केशवधृता नरहरि रूपा, जय जगदीश हरे, जय जगदीश हरे, जय जगदीश हरे। केशव जय सीताराम लक्ष्मण हनुमान, सीताराम लक्ष्मण हनुमान, जय सीताराम लक्ष्मण हनुमान, सीताराम लक्ष्मण हनुमान। सीताराम जय सीताराम, सीताराम जय सीताराम, सीताराम जय सीताराम, सीताराम सीताराम। जय नृसिंहदेव जय नृसिंहदेव, जय नृसिंहदेव जय नृसिंहदेव। जय भक्त प्रहलाद, जय प्रहलाद महाराज, भक्त प्रहलाद जय प्रहलाद महाराज। जय जय प्रभुपाद 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 प्रभुपाद। जय जय प्रभुपाद प्रभुपाद प्रभुपाद, जय जय प्रभुपाद। Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur Hari Bol. Shri Shri Lakshmi Nishringadev Bhagavan ki jai. Pakashresh Prahlad Maharaj ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Tai Gaur Premanandi.
Hare Krishna. I guess you're not used to programs finishing so early. That's why you don't want to go home. So prasadam will be served. Been a long day for everybody as well as the servers. So please take prasadam. Sarira vidyaja jyotintriyata heka jiva fale vishaya sagare taramad jivati Lobha moh sudharmati Take jita katina samsare Krishna baradoya moy Kori bar jiva jai Swaprasadana dilo bhai Sayana mrito pao Radha Krishna gunagao Premedako chaitanya nitai Jai Nimai, Jai Nitai. Bhagavad Prasadam ki, Srila Prabhupada ki, Gaur Premanande, Hari Hari Bol. So Sunday, love feast class at Sri Sri Radharanath Temple will be given by Swarup Prabhu. So we have a tough choice. Hare Krishna.